In the quiet town of Loudun, France, in the year 1632, the Ursuline convent was a sanctuary of peace and devotion. Within its stone walls, Sister Jeanne d'Angers, the prioress, led a life of prayer and contemplation. The days were marked by the gentle rhythm of vespers and matins, the scent of incense, and the soft glow of candlelight on devout faces. But this tranquility was about to be shattered by a force that would defy both faith and reason, plunging the convent into a darkness from which it would never fully recover. The first signs were subtle, almost unnoticeable. Sister Jeanne began experiencing unsettling dreams, visions of a man she had never met. The charismatic and controversial priest Urbain, he appeared to her at night, not as a holy man, but as a tempter, whispering promises of earthly pleasures. At first, she dismissed them as mere fantasies, a test of her faith. But soon, the nocturnal visions bled into her waking hours. She became withdrawn, her prayers filled with a frantic energy. The other nuns noticed the change. Their once composed and serene prioress was now prone to sudden fits of melancholy and agitation. Then, the true horror began. It started with a tremor in her hands, a twitch in her eye. Within days, it escalated into violent full-body convulsions. Sister Jeanne would be thrown to the floor, her body contorting into impossible shapes, her limbs thrashing with unnatural strength. She would scream, not in her own voice, but in a deep guttural tone that echoed through the hallowed halls. She blasphemed, shouting obscenities that would make a sailor blush, words a pious nun should not even know. Her eyes, once filled with gentle piety, would roll back in her head, showing only the whites. The other nuns watched in terror, their prayers drowned out by her unholy shrieks. Soon, the affliction spread like a contagion. One by one, other sisters began to exhibit the same terrifying symptoms. The convent, once a place of serene order, descended into chaos. Nuns writhed on the stone floors, clawing at their own skin, speaking in foreign tongues they had never learned. The local physicians were summoned, but they were baffled. They bled the sisters, administered sedatives, and applied poultices, but nothing could quell the violent episodes. The fits seemed to have a life of their own, an intelligence that mocked their medical efforts. The doctors documented everything with detached, scientific precision, noting the incredible physical strength and the lucid, malicious intelligence that accompanied the seizures. Their medical texts had no name for this. Desperate, the church intervened. Exorcists were dispatched to Loudun, armed with holy water, crucifixes, and the rites of exorcism. The battle for the souls of the Ursuline nuns began. The exorcisms were brutal, public spectacles. Held in the convent chapel, they drew crowds of horrified onlookers. When confronted with the holy sacraments, the afflicted nuns would recoil, hissing like serpents. They would mock the priests, revealing their deepest secrets and sins with uncanny accuracy. During one such ritual, the voice coming from Sister Jeanne's lips identified itself. It was not one demon, but a legion. Asmodeus, Leviathan, behemoth names of ancient, powerful devils. They claimed they had been sent by Urbain Grandier, the priest from Jeanne's dreams, through a pact he had made with Satan. The accusation was explosive. Grandier was a man who had made many enemies. He was handsome, intelligent, and openly defiant of his clerical superiors, particularly Cardinal Richelieu's political allies. The possession case provided the perfect weapon for his foes. He was arrested and charged with witchcraft and diabolism. Despite proclaiming his innocence, Grandier was subjected to horrific torture. The inquisitors searched his body for the devil's mark. Insensitive spots said to prove a pact with evil. They found several, likely just birthmarks or scars, but it was enough. The testimony of the possessed nuns, writhing and screaming his name, sealed his fate. Urbain Grandier was convicted. He was burned at the stake in the public square of Loudun, maintaining his innocence to the very end. One might expect Grandier's death to end the possessions. It did not. In fact, they intensified. The demons tormenting Sister Jeanne now had a new taunt: the death of the man they claimed was their master. The exorcisms continued, growing more intense and more public. Royal physicians were sent by the king himself to observe and report. They were men of science, skeptics by nature, but what they witnessed in Loudun shook their belief in a rational, ordered world. They saw Sister Jeanne levitate, saw objects fly across the room untouched, and heard the demonic voices predict future events with chilling accuracy. Their official reports, filled with meticulous and horrified detail, confirmed that something inexplicable was happening. For years, Sister Jeanne remained the epicenter of this spiritual storm. Her body became a battlefield for forces of heaven and hell. Yet slowly, miraculously, a change began. After countless exorcisms and a profound personal journey of faith, Jeanne started to regain control. The fits became less frequent, less violent. The demonic voices grew faint, replaced by her own prayers. She claimed to have received stigmata, the wounds of Christ, and the names of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph mysteriously appeared, written on her hand. Whether a sign of divine intervention or the final, complex manifestation of her condition, it marked a turning point. By 1638, the possessions had largely ceased. Sister Jeanne d'Anger, the woman who had been the vessel for a legion of demons, was calm once more. She lived for another 27 years, her health frail, but her mind clear. She wrote an autobiography, a startling and introspective account of her ordeal. The Loudun Possessions became a legend, a dark chapter in the history of France. What truly happened within those convent walls? Was it a case of mass hysteria, fueled by repression and superstition, a cynical political plot to destroy a troublesome priest? Or was it, as many believed then and some whisper now, a genuine demonic possession? The eyewitness accounts from doctors, priests, and laypeople are too numerous and consistent to be easily dismissed. Yet the context of political intrigue and psychological stress cannot be ignored. The case of Sister Jeanne d'Anger remains one of history's most compelling and terrifying mysteries, a chilling reminder that sometimes the line between faith, madness, and the supernatural is impossibly thin. Thanks for watching. If you found this history as fascinating and unsettling as we did, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more journeys into the unexplained darkness of the past.